The sun began to bleed across the horizon, its first rays slicing through the darkness and waking the world. The light painted the Caribbean Sea in breathtaking shades of orange and purple, casting long shadows across the gentle waves and illuminating the endless expanse of water. On the bridge of the Venezuelan patrol boat, the Caribe, it seemed like just another routine morning patrol, the kind the crew had done countless times before. The air was thick with salt and diesel. The ship rocked gently beneath their feet, and the rhythmic hum of the engines blended with the sound of the sea. The crew watched the invisible boundary of their nation's waters, eyes sharp for anything out of place, knowing that danger could come from anywhere. Below deck, a young sonar operator, fresh from training and eager to prove himself, noticed a faint contact on his screen, a blip that seemed almost too subtle to be real. It was a whisper in the ocean's noise, a ghostly signal moving parallel to the coast, just outside their territorial limit, as if it knew exactly where to stay hidden. He reported it up the chain of command, his voice steady but his heart pounding with uncertainty. A sleepy officer, barely awake and distracted by the monotony of the morning, glanced at the data and shrugged it off, assuming it was just another fishing trawler. But the sonar operator felt uneasy. The contact was too clean, too quiet, too deliberate to be a simple boat. It was like a shark gliding through the water, silent and purposeful, not a clumsy boat churning up noise and bubbles. He adjusted his filters, trying to get a clearer picture, but the contact remained elusive, as if it was deliberately hiding from their gaze. The Caribe continued its patrol, the sun climbing higher in the sky, casting a golden path across the waves as the hours slipped by. The contact remained, holding its course with unnerving precision, never wavering, never revealing its true nature. For one young man below deck, the world had shrunk to a single blinking light on a screen, a mystery that demanded his full attention. A light that didn't belong, a light that felt like a secret, whispering of something hidden beneath the waves, waiting to be discovered. Without warning, the contact changed. The silence in the control room shattered in an instant. The sonar operator saw the line on his display angle sharply upward. It was ascending fast, far faster than any known marine life or vessel should be able to move. He shouted, his voice cracking with adrenaline, alerting the rest of the crew to the anomaly. On the bridge, the captain grabbed his binoculars, scanning the sea with a practiced urgency, searching for any sign of what was coming. At first, there was nothing. Just the endless, undisturbed blue stretching to the horizon. Then, the water began to boil, a patch of the sea churning violently, as if something massive was forcing its way up from the depths. White foam erupted, the surface bulged upwards, sending ripples across the calm. The captain's knuckles turned white as he gripped his binoculars, his breath caught in his throat. This was no whale, no glitch in the system. The tension among the crew was palpable. It was something man-made, something enormous, breaking the surface with deliberate force. The crew on the deck of the Caribe stopped in their tracks, pointing in awe and disbelief at the spectacle unfolding before them. Slowly, deliberately, a massive nuclear-powered attack submarine emerged, its hull glistening in the morning light. It settled on the surface with a quiet hiss, steam rising as the cold air met the heated metal. It was perfectly still, perfectly silent, dominating the seascape with its presence. A black dagger aimed at the heart of the morning's calm, slicing through the tranquility with its arrival. The submarine was a Virginia class, one of the most advanced in the U.S. Navy, bristling with technology and power. It wasn't supposed to be seen here, not in these waters, not at this time. Its sudden appearance was a violation of the natural order, unsettling everyone who witnessed it. Submarines are meant to be ghosts, the unseen threat lurking below, never revealing themselves. For one to surface like this was not an accident. It was a deliberate act, a calculated move. It was a statement, a message sent from the depths, one that could not be ignored. On the bridge of the Venezuelan patrol boat, silence fell like a heavy curtain, broken only by the hum of the engines and the distant sound of waves against the hull. The captain, a veteran of 20 years at sea, couldn't take his eyes off the submarine that had suddenly appeared on the horizon, its dark silhouette cutting through the morning haze. It was larger than his entire vessel, a piece of advanced technology that seemed almost otherworldly compared to their modest patrol boat. He gave orders, in a low, steady voice, determined not to show panic or uncertainty in front of his crew, even as tension mounted. Communications, open a channel to Naval Command, he instructed, his tone calm but urgent. Report what we're seeing, visuals, start recording, every detail matters, he added, knowing this encounter would be scrutinized by higher authorities. The crew moved with purpose, adrenaline sharpening their focus as they realized they were now witnesses to a major international incident unfolding before their eyes. This was not an act of war, but something far more subtle, a calculated display of power and intent. The captain understood the game. This was political theater, a message sent without a single shot fired. The submarine hadn't surfaced in their territorial waters, but its proximity was no accident. It was just outside the line in international waters, close enough to be seen, but not close enough to provoke a direct response. Its presence was a clear and deliberate message, a reminder that boundaries could be tested at any moment, a reminder of who held the real power in these waters, and how quickly the balance could shift. The captain felt frustration and helplessness, knowing his patrol boat was outmatched by the sheer size and capability of the submarine. His patrol boat was outmatched, dwarfed by the imposing presence beside them, yet he stood firm. They would hold their position, watch, and record, silent observers in a high-stakes game of nerves. That was their role in this silent standoff, to bear witness and to endure. The captain looked at his young crew, seeing awe and fear mingled in their eyes, knowing this moment would shape their understanding of power and diplomacy at sea. This was a lesson they would never forget, a silent shock that would echo in their memories for years to come. Inside the USS Virginia, the atmosphere was calm and controlled. Every action was part of a rehearsed plan. The commander watched the Venezuelan patrol boat on a video feed. The order to surface was a political decision. The mission: transit, surface, be seen, disappear. A modern form of gunboat diplomacy. The crew of the Virginia were professionals, the best in the world. Sonar, what do you have? The commander asked. Sir, the Caribe has us on active sonar, the sonar chief replied. Let them look, the commander said. The point was to be seen, recorded, undeniable. The crew operated with quiet confidence. They knew they were untouchable. The Caribe posed no threat. They were the shark, the patrol boat a curious fish, watching from a safe distance. The minutes ticked by in silence. The two vessels floated, separated by ocean and power. No radio calls, no warning shots, no maneuvers, yet a conversation was taking place. The submarine's stillness was a statement of confidence. Its existence was the message. The Caribe continued its patrol route. The captain was careful not to challenge or show cowardice. It was a delicate dance, naval choreography. The patrol boat's sonar pings were its only reply. On board the submarine, they noted every action of the Venezuelan vessel. Every piece of data was logged. Intelligence was being gathered. This was the chess match of modern naval power. The submarine's surfacing was bold. The patrol boat's response was logical. It was a game of patience. Who would move first? The power to begin and end the encounter rested with the submarine. The Caribe could only watch and wait. The sun was high, the initial shock on the Caribe replaced by watchfulness. The captain knew the purpose of this display. The video feed was being watched in Caracas, likely the presidential palace. The message was for the highest levels of government, a geopolitical signal sent via a submarine, a reminder of America's reach. This was not traditional aggression. The message was clear without words. It was about presence. Naval power is about preventing wars, shaping decisions. The Virginia-class submarine was a demonstration of capability and will. The crew of the Virginia understood their role. They were diplomats armed with torpedoes. Their submarine was political messaging. The act of being there had more impact than speeches. It changed strategic calculations. For the Venezuelan crew, it was humbling, a reminder of the technological gap. The encounter reinforced the existing order. The message was sent and received. After what felt like an eternity, there was a change. A plume of vapor vented from the submarine's hull. The commander of the Virginia gave the order to dive. On the bridge of the Caribe, the captain watched the submarine settle lower. It was a slow, controlled descent. The deck disappeared, then the sail. The men on the Caribe watched in silence. The submarine retreated to its natural element. The finality of the moment was palpable. Soon, only the top of the sail was left. Then, it was gone. The ocean's surface was whole again. The only evidence was the fading image on screens. The phantom returned to the shadows. The sonar operator tracked the descent. The signature grew fainter. The submarine leveled off at a deep, untraceable depth. Then, it accelerated and was gone. The encounter was over. The ghost had vanished, but its presence would be felt. A profound quiet settled over the bridge of the Caribe. The sun was bright, the sea calm, but nothing was the same. The captain lowered his binoculars, feeling awe. He had witnessed a masterclass in naval power. His crew was quiet, processing the event. This encounter defined the new reality of naval warfare. It was about information, presence, and psychology. The most powerful weapon is the one you don't have to use. The US Navy had not fired a shot. They had simply shown up. They demonstrated overwhelming capability. It was a checkmate delivered before the first move. The message was global. The video would be analyzed worldwide, a reminder of America's commitment to freedom of navigation. The silent standoff was a message to the world. As the Caribe turned for home, its crew was changed. They had seen modern naval power. The submarine was gone, but its echo remained. The ultimate power is the ability to appear, demonstrate, and disappear, leaving a memory and understanding.